Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin with LPT Realty, and I'm happy to be here to bring you the raw and real today with some raw and real people, one that I know very well in life, business, and of course, real estate. And so obviously it's Valentine's Day weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about love and passion, and not just in life, business, and real estate, but just in general. I think that this is a great group of people to do that with. They are very intertwined with one another. They have chosen to kind of partner up and create this trifecta entrepreneurship in the real estate world. So I have three people here from the Premier Home Experts team, and I am happy to introduce all of them to you. They are all three LPT agents, and like I said, I'm very familiar with this group and this group of people, so honored to have them in the studio today. I have Miss Annie O'Sullivan. How are you doing, Miss Annie?
Oh, I am doing so well, especially with that kind of intro, man. I wanted to over here and start shouting, clapping, everything.
Yeah, so I think it's really awesome. As you know, I've known Mauricio for a while. I think it's really great to see you guys come together. I know we talked a little bit about before the show, just kind of your history and what you've done in the real estate world. So I'm so excited for you guys to be able to tell everybody about that today. So thank you. I mean the intro, and it truly is an honor to have you guys in the studio. James Boardman over there. And I know that, James, this is an exciting time for you guys, kind of just getting with Annie and Mauricio and creating the Premier Home Experts Group. So I'm definitely happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Mauricio Cespedes, I've known this guy for a while. We work on projects together outside of the radio show. So Mauricio, how cool for me to get to introduce this team that you've created. I'm so proud of you and just honored to have you here in the studio. And I'm really excited for you to talk a little bit about the Premier Home Expert Group today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me over. It's always an honor.
So we're going to talk to you first and just talk about the theory of kind of creating this group. I know your personal history and the passion for real estate investments and really just kind of being a deal strategist and putting deals together, not only helping your clients, but doing it in your personal world. So explain what the Premier Home Experts Group is and why this group was created.
Very good. I think that one of the things that I did for the new year is that when we start real estate, we kind of regroup, and we kind of want to regroup ourselves for the new year, new goals, new ventures. And you kind of take a look at your surroundings also, and you kind of want to make some adjustments at times. And so one of the things that I refocus back again is to my investment side. Once again, I love my niche, my investment side, but I also wanted to create a team that had a lot of knowledge also on the retail side again, and had structure, that discipline, those systems, those tools that we can kind of bring back again and help agents and clients out. So I kind of wanted to work with Annie and James. We even back then, a couple of months ago, come and help my team also kind of with systems and tools and coaching, and things didn't go the way that I wanted to. So now that I kind of went on my own, we kind of retouched again, and we just kind of decided to come back as a team and said, all right, well, let's work together. Annie has a lot of expertise also in bringing in working in the past with systems and tools and people and coaching, coming back also from 10 years ago that I knew them with Keller Williams. And then we kind of venture out to go to different teams and different brokerages. And James goes back with me also 10 years where we were office mates back in Keller Williams. So we've known each other, and I'm so proud of James as a friend also, that he's had a transformation in his life from also some drinking, some mental things that we all go through as boys, and we were just growing out. And as we went out and did our own thing, we kind of came back again, and he kind of shared with me last year what he was doing with Annie, working together, going to coaching, focusing on mental health, focusing on health, your body, your mind, your soul, and Christ. And so I don't know. This year, he had also a Jesus venture where he says, man, it's calling me, and I called him, and it was just the perfect timing again to rekindle our friendship once again. And not only our friendship, but our business now. It's in a different level now. I'm in a different level. I want to really grow, and I want to explode to another level. I needed people that are already seeing that and have built that in another side, and now we have collided together, and I think we have agents coming already in our way.
Yeah.
We have also, whoa, hold on. Let's put the structure together, which we kind of launched it today, basically.
Officially today.
Yeah, officially we kind of launched today, and now we're ready to rumble, man. It's like,
yeah,
wow.
I think that what's crazy too, and James will turn to you about this, is that it's weird because when we're all in different seasons of our life, it affects what actually happens with our growth. And what's crazy is, I think that there are seasons that even of my life, like I wasn't at my best, and I was around a different group of people. And I think when you get on that growth track and alignment, whatever that is for you, then people start coming to you in ways that they just show up. And I definitely, just like Mauricio said, believe it's totally like a God thing. So I definitely want to hear from you, James, why you feel that's important. And especially since we are in this Valentine's Day weekend, what is like passionate for you and just that you love about seasons and growth track and different like alignments with people?
Sure. So I actually come from more of a retail management background. I actually have a degree in management. So I went that route at first, didn't really like it. And then I became an agent. I did the realtor thing for many, many years. And then ultimately Annie and I ran a team. It was the Premier Home Experts. We ran this team many, many years ago. And we did it. We had a couple agents break off because they wanted to start families. So then we're kind of doing our own thing. I, as Mauricio said, did go in a little downward spiral. Things were a little bad in my life. I'd say I pretty much hit rock bottom. And I started finding coaching groups online, and I started trying to better myself. And, within about a year, I think I did a 180, and I feel I did a 180, and I started to feel better. I started to align myself with the right people. So on the cards for me was trying to coach and train and develop others, because that's what I've always been passionate about. I've always liked helping people and lead and, seeing people grow. So we were going to do a coaching business, like Mauricio said. And then, like he also said, I just felt like God kept poking me. And he's like, hey, you went through this transformation for a reason. And now I have big plans for you. And now it's your time to lead and help others. So I had no intentions as of January 1st to restart this real estate team. This was kind of just crazy, and it was just thrown in my lap. And it was just, like you said, it's just opportunity after opportunity. You align yourself with the right people, and then everyone just starts throwing themselves at you. So now we just have agents left and right. They see my transformation. I told them my biggest thing with real estate this go around is I see a gap. They don't teach you how to run a business. They don't teach you that you need to take care of yourself. They don't teach you you need sleep, eat right, and all of that to become a successful realtor, which is essentially a business person, an entrepreneur. That's something we are good at now, something I just went through a whole transformation. So I was like, let's teach this to the agents. Let's put that as the emphasis, and then the money and the sales will come. And I just love coaching and training and developing people.
I think it's amazing. First of all, I think that your transparency is phenomenal. I think that we are only as good as the people that we touch. We are only as good as the people that we help. So you can be great, you can be top producer, you can be top sales, but you're only as good as the amount of people that you also practice that each one teach one method with. So I think that you saying, hey, I'm going to show people also what not to do. And I think that we forget that in the world today. So we're going to dive deep with Annie and James and Mauricio throughout this show. Mauricio, if someone does want to connect with you, could you throw out your phone number really quick?
Sure. Mauricio Cespedes, 813-494-1981.
James, could you give everyone your phone number?
813-748-4005.
And Miss Annie, could you throw your number out there?
Sure. It's 813-531-1151.
You know, it's a good show when I don't even look at the clock because I'm so intrigued at what people are saying. Today, we're going to definitely talk about love and passion for what you do, but we're also going to talk about love and passion for other people and how it's important to use your career and lift other people up and also show people kind of what not to do. I do think that we are put on this earth to have passion and purpose, and sometimes our failures turn into successes for other people. It's like one man's trash is another man's treasure. So when you're going through things in your life and you're showing those people in a raw and real fashion of, hey, this is what happened to me, here's things that you can do to better yourself today and not get in that situation, you really become a gift to other people. So excited about this show. One of my great friends is on the show today, and love the fact that they have Premier Home Experts here. LPT is amazing. You're not going to want to miss segments 2, 3, and 4. Pop in those earbuds and download our iHeartRadio app. You're not going to want to miss this. We're going to pay some bills, and we will catch you after the break.
The best comp plans ever and stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home. And we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, with LPT Realty and the Sunshine Real Estate Investments team. Happy to be here. We are always raw and real, but we're definitely going to be super raw and real today as we are talking about love and passion when it comes to life, business, and of course, real estate. So I have Mauricio Cespedes here, James Boardman, and Annie O'Sullivan with the Premier Home Experts Group, a real estate team in the Tampa Bay area. Truly just love the vibe in the studio today. These guys are being super raw and real about how they collaborated together, changes that they're making in 2023, and how this team kind of has had a rebrand when it comes to what they were before, who they are now, and what they foresee themselves being in the future. So I left off with James kind of just being really transparent of a transformation that he's had in his life. And I'm definitely going to turn to you, Annie, because, obviously being a female in this industry, working with guys, we somehow end up being like a permanent sticky note is what I want to call us.
Yeah, right.
We are the reminder for everything. We are the organizer for everything. And I know in your past, we kind of talked about before the show, you did a lot of back end system stuff kind of with 54 Realty. Yeah. So what is your role in this team, and kind of what is your value and flavor that you bring to the group?
Oh, it's freaking awesome. I love it. Flavor. I'm all the flavor here, the seasoning, hands down. So I got to say, when Mauricio was first telling us about his issues and where he really wanted to be with real estate and just in life and everything, and we were having like these mastermind sessions, we were really just talking. It was completely raw, where we were like, hey, this is where he's at. This is what we want. This is where James wants to be. And it just made sense all of a sudden, where everybody wanted success. Everyone wanted to do better, but we were all so scattered at the same time. For me, and what I've always been able to do, I don't know if it was a gift or it's just because I'm a mom and, you just start having to organize things to live life. all of a sudden I saw where the gaps were and how we could help each other. I was like, Mauricio, if you love investing so much, focus on the investing. We can create the other channels so that way you're not dropping these other opportunities. Because when you're doing a deal, you never want any of them to fall apart. You never want to miss an opportunity just because you're too busy. So all of a sudden he was saying he had those issues, and then we had agents. And then James is over here saying, I love coaching. I have a passion. I feel like I'm fulfilled and I'm supposed to be doing this at the same time that Mauricio is like, oh, I have these agents I'm responsible for. So in my head, I'm just like, light bulb, guys. Do you not see what's happening here? It's literally lining up for us. I'm like, you do this part. Just focus on that because that's what you love. James, you want to help agents. You want to like level up in this whole new chapter of your life. Be that person for these guys because they need that. And it was beautiful to be able to see that on the tech side and everything. I'm like, I will gladly build out whatever you guys need to make this work. And it kind of worked out beautifully because of that.
I love that. And I think what's really cool too is like the best people on a team, they know their position.
Yeah.
It's like when you put 5 basketball players on a basketball court and you're the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. The 5 doesn't try to be the 1. Mm-hmm. The 5 is good at being the 5 and they execute in that role. But what's cool about a team and what you guys have described is that not one person on the team could do what the team is going to do.
Exactly.
So I love that. And I know that you guys know too that I recently merged my team with Jen Spinelli. Mm-hmm. And so it's crazy because I've always been this leader and this person, you know what I mean? And it was really cool for me to be like, hey, I'm going to bring in someone else. I mean, we were growing really fast. My group of people, and I don't care how good of a leader you are, you can only corral so many cattle.
Yep.
And so you end up becoming a disservice to people. And Annie, just like you, that's what Jennifer really does for us. She brings that stability. It was so amazing today, and it's Valentine's Day. And it's funny because I don't get emotional on, these shows, but I walk in here today and she has like flowers and a card for me. And so it's really nice to just have somebody that, cares about you too, and so God, Mauricio, it would be the show that you're on because I think this is the second time that this has happened.
I feel...
Yeah, but you know like what that's like. So I think it's really cool for me to have, somebody like that in my world. So it makes me really happy to see Mauricio have people that, care about him. So I'm really happy for you, and I think it's really great to hear that you guys have all the pieces of the puzzle. So you want to talk more about that? Just the team and the pieces, and they've kind of described who they are and what it means to you. And then also I can make Mauricio cry since he just made me
You're
cry.
always in that mode. You make me feel that way. I mean, I wouldn't be here for a lot of things that you also have inspired me to do. Honestly, with the bottom of my heart, you sparked that's what I feel like I can do. It's an energy connection within us. The universe is based on energy, and your energy has actually flown to me to touch others out there. And I feel like I'm gravitating people. But I'm very strict about what we want and how we want and when we want. And so that's what I feel, that I want to build something that I can't do by myself. And I do need that same passion, that same desire, and the love that we can put into things. And it's just so beautiful when you see that blow and grow.
Oh, I think that you and I have talked many times just about the factor that for 2023, what we're going to do is be a part of people's lives that are also a contributor to our life in some type of capacity, and I think that people get it very twisted. It's not always apple for apple, right? So if someone contributes in my life financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, they don't have to do every single part. I have the people that I know that maybe are in a different financial status than I am. So I'm probably going to pay for their bill when they go to lunch. They contribute in my life in a different way. And so I think that what's really cool is that you can bring people in, you can corral them in, but you can be very firm in your wants and your needs, Mauricio. And I think that it's amazing. James, I definitely want to come back to you because the passion for teaching, I teach a class on Wednesday, and it's so funny that you said this. The building the business part is what is so lacking in real estate school and just all the things that we're taught. So if you want to elaborate a little bit more on why it's important really no matter what business that you own, why you have to build the foundation of a business and how that launches you to succeed in whatever entrepreneurial world you're in. I would love to hear you talk about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we've seen it so much, which is one of the reasons why we did want to get into coaching in general, Annie and I both, is that, like you said, it's not just realtors, but so many people, especially since COVID, right? You have all these people wanting to start small businesses, and they're like, well, I don't want to work in corporate America anymore. I hated the way that this works, so let me try this. But it seems like a lot of people, they just didn't have that direction. And they're just like, well, I know how to make this product, or I know how to, anything like that, or provide this service. But they never had any training whatsoever in school, because they don't teach business in school unless you specifically go for it. So then you have a lot of people who are good at their craft, but then, or real estate too, and then they don't have any business sense or business acumen. It's sad because they have a great skill set, but then they ultimately fail because they were missing those basic components of basic business.
100%. I think too, when people become entrepreneurs, they think that they don't have to understand like these 5 pillars of business. You know, you have to understand the marketing aspect. You have to understand the financial piece of it with your profit and loss statements, all of the things. You have to understand the tech piece and what is a CRM? How are you going to scale? How are you going to automate? So what I think is really cool about the three of you is you truly will be able to provide 100% customer service and quality to your clients, because you have and agents that join your team. You have the tech piece and the automation side and the marketing aspect as well, because we have to be the jack of all trades, right?
Of course.
Annie? And then you have the coaching piece and the training side. And then Mauricio, you have you're such an encourager. You're such a hype man. You're such an analyst. You know, you also are an investor yourself. So all of those pieces, I love that. Annie, if someone wants to speak to you as an agent or learn more about your team, can you throw out your contact information?
Oh, for sure. So my phone number is 813-531-1151. And then my email is super easy too. It's Annie@phe.global.
Awesome. And Mr. James, we are going to connect and be friends. You know that, right?
I guess so.
So can you throw out your information if anyone wants to learn more about your team or connect with you as an LPT agent?
Absolutely. My phone number is 813-748-4005. And my email is James, James, @phe.global.
And Mr. Mauricio Cespedes, give everyone those digits.
813-494-1981.
Happy to have the Premier Home Expert Group, great LPT agents, phenomenal team that has just started in the studio today. And they got me, of course, got me teary-eyed, got me emotional. I love this show. I love that it's raw and real. I really do love the passion and just commitment that's in the room today. You're not going to want to miss the next couple of segments. We're actually going to go into a strengths and weaknesses segment where we really talk about how we utilize what we love to do great things, what we do when we have things in our business that we don't want to do, and how we delegate, and how this awesome team kind of does that as a unified front, and why they are of value for any agents out there looking to join a real estate team in the Tampa Bay area. We are going to take a quick break. Download the iHeartRadio app, pop in those earbuds, and we'll catch you after the break.
The biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these two models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career, what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, LPT agent, Sunshine Real Estate Investments team in Tampa Bay. Want to give a huge shout out, as always, to Robert Palmer, LPT Realty, for making this show happen. It's truly an honor to have a broker and brokerage that gives us so many opportunities to win in our career. The radio show opens so many doors for our agents, bringing in members of the community, vendors that we work with, people they can connect with. Today, I truly have the honor of being with three awesome LPT realtors that have a full service real estate team If you're looking for a team and you're an agent in the Tampa Bay area, or you are looking to conduct any type of real estate transaction on the buy, seller, investment side, you do want to connect with the Premier Home Group experts. I have Mauricio Cespedes, James Boardman, and Annie O'Sullivan in the house today. So as promised, we have been talking about love and passion. It's Valentine's Day weekend. We just went through a whole week of Valentine's stuff. And it's funny whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you are married or divorced or single or an entrepreneur or work in the corporate setting, it doesn't really matter because the meaning of Valentine's Day and passion and love can be exemplified in all types of ways. So I know that this week you are either making cards and taping suckers to whatever you're sending to school with your child, or you potentially could be taking your husband or wife out to dinner, or you could just be giving a really close friend a high five and a hug. And as a team lead of a real estate team, I try to show the people on my team that I love them and I care about them. I'm always there to give them a swift, kick when they need it, but to come in with that high five or hug and say, hey man, I really love you and I want to see you win. So I do want to turn to you, Annie. As we promised people, we're going to talk about strengths and weaknesses. So identifying your strengths and weaknesses as kind of the woman who, again, is that sticky note and that organizer for the team. How do you identify agent strengths and weaknesses and help them, or even the guys on the team, helping them channel their energies where they're really strong and identifying where they're weak?
So it's actually pretty funny. And let's rewind like 2 years ago. The whole reason this thing started for me, and really knowing that systems, tech, marketing was such a big gap for realtors, was because I had an agent who literally do anything you'd ask, but she was struggling hardcore. She was in the industry like 8 months at the time. She did not even have one transaction under her belt, but yet this girl was working 18, 19 hours a day, like not even sleeping, just to get through. And I kind of just saw what she was doing, and I just gave her a minute. I was like, hey, just sit with me for a day. Let me show you just a couple of things to make your life easier, so that way you're not like literally burning yourself out. And what now she's over a $10 million producer in less than 2 years. Like, she's phenomenal. But what she told me afterwards, like after this whole thing happened, was, you don't get it, Annie. I was at the point where literally, if you had not sat down and talked with me, I was going to commit suicide because I was just not making it. And that was like the first time it really hit home for me about making it more intentional, about understanding that not everybody knows what they don't know. And so that I had to make more of an effort, like with our team agents and like with Mauricio and James, about like, hey, where are you struggling? Where is it good? And making sure that we stay on top of those things. So that way we can alleviate any problems that come up as soon as possible.
I love that. I think what's really important too is that when you identify strengths and weaknesses, people really have to put their egos aside.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be good at everything. And so what I love about like this merger and, bringing up like Jen and I, is that there are things that I'm not good at. And there are things that I'm just not a specialist in, so when you team up with other people, there is such power in numbers. We did a whole analysis with our team as well and discussed what you're good at and what you're not good at, which also helps you identify what you love.
Yeah.
You don't love everything, man.
Yep.
So who wants to do things and that you don't love? So I think that is something we've talked about a lot, Mauricio, is finding like what you love. And so in 2023, like talk to the listeners about that. Like, how in 2023 are you just going to do what you love and make money doing it?
I mean, I am so a believer in self-development, like we talk about every day. That's what I preach. You got to really
100%.
go back to the basics, and it's really focusing on really what you want to do and what's important to you. You look at your family around you and you look at your people, but again, focus on yourself, what you want, write it down, and just go for it. That's what and not only what you want to do, but I found out who you want to do it with. All right. And there's things that I don't know how to do, but I know that I have the capability to do it. I just need someone to come and push me and get me there, or they have other tools or ways of handling it. Again, 2 + 2 is 4, 3 + 1 is 4. So somehow we could get there to the same answer. And I think that I found through you also what I believe on, which is what I want to believe in myself. And what my vision and goals are, not only for me, but for my family and for everyone around me. I feel like I can encourage, I can push people to do things that they couldn't be able to do because I've been doing that.
Yeah.
And so,
I think that also it's funny because a lot of things that we talk about too, Mauricio, I love what you said though, what I want to do and who I want to do it with. I think that is just super clutch, man, because I think that we all know what we want to do. And sometimes we decide to be the driver and the factor and control and do all the things. The other thing that we talked about yesterday, on our call weekly for the Invest Tour is having patience. And so I want to turn to my new bestie, James, for that. Because I think that you talking about your transformation and what you went through at the time, you probably believed like that was your time. You should be doing all these things and winning in all these areas. And you got kind of brought down. And I believe that when you have a breakdown, you have a breakthrough. So I would love for you to talk to listeners about why during that time, maybe there were some frustrations because you thought other things should be happening. But by having patience, going through that kind of breakdown, why you're 10 times stronger and better today, and you're kind of having that breakthrough in what you're trying to do.
It's so funny that you bring me in for the patience one because I feel like the big man upstairs has been testing my patience heavily over the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like really, really heavily.
Like real, you're getting tested, James.
Oh, this is great.
Okay, this is great.
Well, I mean, so when I was going through everything I was going through, I would get frustrated because I wanted it and I want it now. And that's the culture we live in, right? So
Addicted to speed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it was weight, it was mindset. Like I had a lot that I just wanted to do a 180 with, but what I really learned, and I hired coaches because like I needed help, and they all pretty much gave me the same message. It's, eat the elephant one bite at a time. And I had to have that message just pounded in my head until I finally listened. And it's just every day you just, do the best you can every day, take one step forward, and then eventually like greatness will ensue.
I think too, what is amazing about having patience is that we also learn that like it's not really our plan and like we're not in control. Yeah. And I think when we try to control and have a plan and we're not, it just kind of makes us block out change.
Yeah.
And I think when you're willing to adapt to change, that's the real estate industry as a whole. The market changes, financing changes, pricing changes, people change. And so when you can't adapt to change in the real estate industry, you have set yourself up to fail. Now you make that applicable to life. And if you're not willing to bob and weave and make change, not only personally, but professionally, you cannot be an entrepreneur. Like it just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So Annie, how do you feel about change?
Well, now I like it. I fully accepted that.
I love how she starts,
right?
Now I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. That was a hard lesson to go through because, as a driver and as someone who likes to control things and be like, hey, at this time this is happening, ABC. And if I went off the rails and all of a sudden C came up before A, I would get really frustrated with that. It was just not my style. And then I realized, like you said, one, going through those harder steps of like really causing myself that stress and frustration. And, I was probably aging myself 100 years more than I should have because of it. But then just letting things be and kind of going with the flow on how it went, I was like, wow, this actually isn't that bad. And things came out better than what I anticipated. Like we had no idea Mauricio was going to really be reaching out to us with this venture and everything. Yet this is a better idea than what we could have imagined 6 months ago.
I know. It's so crazy to hear that. Mauricio, if you or anyone wants to contact you, then could you give your phone number out to everyone, please?
813-494-1981.
James, throw out those digits.
813-748-4005.
And Miss Annie, give everyone your phone number, please.
813-531-1151.
This show has been amazing to speak to all the listeners about change, strength and weaknesses, love and passion, and what you're doing. Really a transformation between three people that came together to take their strength and weaknesses, become a united front, and really be a team. So we're going to conclude the show and what team means to you. How do you have passion and love for what you do and create teams in your life? So pop in those earbuds, download the iHeartRadio app. We're going to take one more commercial break and we'll catch you after the break. Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, with the LPT Realty Sunshine Real Estate Investments team. And as always, bringing you the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. Happy to be in the studio today with some amazing peeps from LPT Realty. It is just us, LPT Realty only, in the house today. Normally we have a special guest, but all three of them are special. And that is why it is just us in the studio today. The Premier Home Experts Group, we've dove really deep and transparent into what it's like to just make change. They've created this new team, three people uniting together. We've talked about strength and weaknesses on the show. We've talked about love and passion as it's Valentine's Day weekend. And now we're really going to talk about what it means to be a team. Like, what does it mean when you throw the ball to someone else and you rely on them to catch it? What does it mean when one is weak, one is strong? What does it mean to be a team? And so I'm coming at you, Mauricio, on the spot, raw and real. If someone just literally walked up to you off the street and said, define team, TEAM, what would you say? Sharing, okay.
Sharing love. I love the Chicago Bulls, so I come from a team, and I love boxing, which is one person only in the ring. So I always define myself as either you're in the ring by yourself in life, or you're in the team. And in the team, you can pass the ball, you can grab it, share it with each other, and eventually you get to a championship together. It doesn't take only one person; it takes a whole entire group of individuals to come with that goal, same passion and desire to get to that. And that's how you build a team.
I love that. I love that you start off with sharing, because I think that the cool thing about a team is you share the success, but you also share the struggle. So what's cool about being on a team is that when you win together, and when you take an L, you take an L together. So it takes off some pressure, but you also get to celebrate with people that you love and share that. So James, I'm going to turn to you and ask you, if someone said to you, what would your definition of a team be? What is the first thing that you would say to them?
Great question. I would really just say, just a group of people who get together, who have a common goal and want to achieve great success, more so than they would individually, because, there's going to be different parts to the team. Some people are good at one thing, and some people, aren't good at others, like we talked about earlier. And together as a unit, they just are great. But as individuals, maybe not so much.
I love that. So we have Mauricio with the sharing, James with the one goal. Now I'm going to my girl, Annie, coming through, a little female power here. So if somebody just walked up to you on the streets, Annie, and said, Annie, just define team. What does team mean to you? What would you say?
Oh my gosh, I'm all about the collaboration. I love the idea that you can bounce ideas off of each other to create something even better than you would have on your own. 100%, hands down. It's like, I could have a great idea, but then you can give me one tiny little nugget and all of a sudden you just 10x'd it. That's what a team does to me. And that's the power of having a group that comes together.
So if you say what I did here with the three of you, I asked everyone the same question and we got all three different answers. And I wrote down three different notes: sharing, one common goal, and collaborate to create something great. So what's funny about it is that every single answer is right. There isn't a wrong answer. All three answers flowing together create a 10x situation where one answer individually is great and it's good and it's okay, but all three of the answers together. So I think that one, you guys picked the right teammates in my book. I'm giving the team an A+. And two, I think that just for everyone out there listening, that is what a team is about. Because I also think for me, when it comes to team, is seeing the same goal in different visions.
Yeah.
Because I think when you can see things and hear things, it's like, I have to talk to a lot of people about what active listening is, not listening to respond. And I talk to my team a lot about what they're doing when someone else is talking. Like, don't attend a meeting. Don't try to be a sponge in the room if you're really not paying attention. Like, if you're texting or you're on the phone or do whatever, you're not absorbing anything that people are saying. So what I think is really cool about a team is that you get to hear different people speak on the same topic, seeing it in a totally different light, a totally different vision of how we're going to get from point A to point B, but we're all going to point B.
Yep.
We all have the same situation. So I really do love that. And so Mauricio, I would love to hear, you just tell the listeners out there, like, your final thoughts of today, things that maybe you're rebranding in your life, or how you truly feel about this new team, or maybe if change is fearful, like anything that you want to share with the listeners today to conclude and just give them a final thought. Go ahead and give it to them.
Beautiful. I love in investing into yourself, finding some people that can help you also grow. And it's possible. It's possible if you believe in yourself. Granted, again, I believe in everything that you do lately. It's a lot of hard work. Relationships is a lot of hard work, including, at home, and it starts with everyone around you. So you have to be patient and have that support, have that mentorship, have that role model still to help you grow within yourself personally so you can help others. So, just give it your all, and it's possible if you believe.
I absolutely love that. And I think that it's awesome just to see the people that I've been able to surround myself with, yourself being one of them at LPT, and the things that we've talked about. And, it probably means a little bit more to me just because I know 6 months ago conversations we had. So I'm really honored to have you here today, but I'm definitely proud of you and just who you are. And I love these people that you've now brought more into my life. James and Annie will definitely be 2 people I'll connect with outside the show. So I'm just honored to see you being a catalyst and a connector and just winning. I think that's amazing. So, James, final thoughts for my listeners today. We've touched on strengths and weaknesses and teams and ups and downs and transformations, but if you can leave them with some type of final thought just that you want to impact them with, you have free reign, my dog, to speak now or forever hold your peace.
Well, like Mauricio said earlier, I've been on this spiritual journey, it seems like, for the last 6 months or a year. So my message would really be just listen, be a better listener. I kept having this voice in my head telling me, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, no. And then it's just all right, well, I'm going to rip the rug out from under your feet and now you're going to listen. And now I listen to everything, that comes in my head. And I feel in my heart of what I'm supposed to do. And it's such a great feeling. So if you're out there and you're just feeling a little lost, but you keep having all these gut feelings and you think that this is what you're meant to do, give it a shot. It might be what you're meant to do. That's what I'm doing, and I couldn't be happier.
I love that. I think just sitting still, having silence and time and stillness. I am the worst. Like Mauricio knows, I'm here, bing, 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 bing. And sometimes when you do that, you are that ping pong ball. When it gets to the very end and it's bam, 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 and that's what you feel like in life. Sometimes when you just sit still and you are just still, it's not a thought, it's not a feeling, it's not a movement, but you're just still, you really get to realize, especially in that spiritual sense, where you're supposed to go. So I love that. James, thank you so much. I'm honored to have met you today. Miss Annie, coming through with the final thought of the day. What would you like to say to our listeners, Miss Annie?
I got to say that I just loved being able to be here and witness everybody's heart and seeing these 2 guys, first off, grow in their journeys and what they've been able to create. And I just feel so blessed to be part of it. And I really want everyone to know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share your heart with others because you never know what kind of connection that can end up becoming for you.
I think that vulnerability is such a great thing to talk about.
Yeah.
And again, I really appreciate, James, your transparency. It has been an amazing show. I love every show and I love meeting every person. But you know, if I had that like that sound thing, I would play that like for today's shows, because not everyone can be a champion. Like, it just is a fact. Someone has to like win. So in my mind, you know, I've had a couple shows that were just really gangbuster shows, and this is like one of those shows for me. So Annie, throw out those digits. So if anyone wants to connect with you, they can do that.
Of course. It's 813-531-1151.
And Mr. James.
813-748-4004.
And Mauricio Cespedes.
813-494-1981.
We really appreciate all of our listeners out there today. And again, hats off to LPT Realty for making this possible. We hope that we touched you today with talking about strengths and weaknesses in teams. And then obviously bringing in the real estate piece. We have great people here at LPT that are here to help you and guide you through the buying, selling, or investing process. Think about, as you are sitting in 2023, we are in month 2 now in February, who you are, what you want to be, and maybe if you do need that rebrand, how you're going to get there. Pop in the earbuds as always on the weekend and download that iHeartRadio app. We unfortunately are concluding our show today, but we will catch you next weekend.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.